Welcome to Students of Wisdom, where we explore timeless teachings to help you live a meaningful life. Today, we are talking about one of the hardest but most important lessons we can ever learn: the art of letting go. Letting go is not just about giving up or walking away, it's about freeing yourself from unnecessary burdens and emotional chains that hold you back. Whether it's a failed relationship, a personal failure, or an unexpected setback, mastering the ability to let go is key to finding peace and resilience in life. Let me begin with a story. There was once a wise man who lived in a small village. He had a favorite pot, one that had been in his family for generations. It was no ordinary pot, it held sentimental value beyond measure. One day, as the wise man was cleaning it, the pot slipped from his hands and shattered on the floor. Most people would have been devastated, maybe even angry or frustrated. But this man? He simply stared at the broken pieces and said, it was time." Then he calmly swept up the pieces and continued with his day. When asked why he wasn't upset, he replied, "I loved that pot, but I knew from the day I owned it that it could break. Every moment I had with it was a gift, but I never expected it to last forever." This story shows us that everything we hold onto in life is fragile. Relationships, possessions, dreams, they are all like that pot. To live a balanced and peaceful life, we must accept the impermanence of things and understand that holding on too tightly can bring more pain than the loss itself. Life is always changing, shifting, and evolving. The people we love, the jobs we have, the status we hold, they are all temporary. Learning to let go begins with accepting this truth: nothing is permanent. Many of us struggle to let go because we fear the unknown. When a relationship ends, or we fail at something important, we cling to the idea of what could have been. We hold on to regret, or hope that things will somehow go back to the way they were. But the truth is, you can't hold on to the past and grow into the future at the same time. Trying to do so is like standing still in a fast-moving river. You'll either drown in your own resistance, or you'll get swept away by the current. In some countries, there's an old technique for catching monkeys. Hunters would take a hollowed-out coconut and fill it with sweet treats. They'd cut a hole just large enough for the monkey to slide its hand in, but too small for the monkey to pull it back out while holding the treat. The monkey, driven by its desire for the sweet reward, would refuse to let go. Even as the hunters approached, the monkey stayed trapped, holding on to the treat, unaware that freedom was just a matter of opening its hand. We are like that monkey when we refuse to let go of things that no longer serve us. We get trapped by our desires, our expectations, or our attachments. And just like the monkey, we think that holding on is the only way to get what we want. But in reality, freedom comes from letting go. When we cling to a relationship that has already ended or to a job that no longer fulfills us, we are imprisoning ourselves. Letting go doesn't mean we don't care. It means we value our freedom more than our attachment to something that no longer exists. Let's talk about emotional detachment. Now, when people hear this term, they often think it means being cold or uncaring. But in Stoicism, emotional detachment is about finding balance. It's the ability to experience life fully without becoming overly attached to the outcomes. We can love deeply without being destroyed if the relationship ends. We can invest in our work passionately without being devastated by failure. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you understand that your well-being doesn't depend on external factors. In relationships, we often fall into the trap of thinking that our happiness is tied to another person. We cling to them out of fear of being alone, fear of being unlovable, fear of losing our sense of identity. But when we understand that we are complete on our own, we stop relying on others to fill the void inside us. This is where resilience comes in. Resilience is not just the ability to bounce back from adversity, but the strength to remain steady in the face of uncertainty. When you master the art of emotional detachment, you cultivate resilience. You learn that while you cannot control the circumstances, you can control how you respond to them. Imagine an archer aiming for a target. He practices daily, mastering his form, his concentration, his strength. But once the arrow leaves his bow, its path is no longer in his control. A gust of wind, a shift in the weather, or any number of variables can affect where the arrow lands. A wise archer understands that his job is to perfect his aim, but the result is not his to command. He learns to detach from the outcome, knowing that his worth is not defined by whether or not he hits the target. Instead, he finds fulfillment in the practice itself, in mastering his skill, in being present in the moment. We must learn to live like the archer. We do our best, we aim carefully, we invest our energy and passion, but we do not tie our sense of self-worth to the outcome. Whether in relationships, work, or personal pursuits, we must accept that the results are not always in our hands. What is in our control is our effort, our attitude, and our response to life's events. Now, before we go any further, if you're finding value in this journey towards wisdom, make sure to subscribe to Students of Wisdom so you don't miss out on any future lessons. Together, we can continue growing and learning. Letting go requires acceptance. We have to face reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. It is human nature to resist change and hold on to what is familiar. But resistance only brings suffering. The more we cling to what has already passed, the more we deny ourselves the opportunity to move forward. Think about it. If you're holding onto a heavy rock, your hands are full, and you can't pick up anything new. Life is the same way. If you're holding on to past hurts, failures, or regrets, you don't have the capacity to embrace new opportunities, new relationships, or new experiences. One of the most liberating things you can do is to accept life as it is, not as you want it to be. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean you stop trying to improve your life or reach your goals. It means you stop wasting energy fighting against reality. In Buddhism, there's a story called the parable of the two arrows. The first arrow is the pain of life, the things that happen to us that are beyond our control. This might be a breakup, a failure, or a loss. The second arrow is how we react to that pain. It's our anger, our bitterness, our refusal to accept what has happened. We cannot always avoid the first arrow. Suffering is a part of life. But the second arrow? That one is optional. We have the power to choose whether we let the first arrow define us or whether we let go and move forward. Many of us spend our lives wounded not just by the first arrow, but by the second, third, and fourth arrows we keep firing at ourselves. We hold on to grudges, regrets, and disappointments long after they should have passed. But once we accept the pain, we can begin to heal. Failure is often one of the hardest things to let go of. Whether it's a failed business venture, a broken relationship, or a missed opportunity, failure can feel like a stain on our identity. But here's the truth: failure is not who you are, it's something that happens to you. In fact, failure is one of the greatest teachers in life. When we let go of the shame or regret attached to failure, we can start to see it for what it really is, a stepping stone to success. Every failure carries within it the seeds of growth if we are willing to learn from it. You've probably heard the story of Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb. What you might not know is that Edison failed thousands of times before he finally succeeded. When asked about his failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison didn't let failure define him. He let go of each mistake as soon as it happened and kept moving forward. This is the mindset we must adopt. When you experience failure, remind yourself that it's part of the process. Let go of the need to be perfect, and embrace the journey of growth. Letting go is not about loss. It's about making space for growth, for healing, for new possibilities. When you let go of the things that no longer serve you, you free yourself from the chains of the past. Remember, life is a journey of constant change. The sooner we accept that, the sooner we can find peace. Let go of your fears, your regrets, your attachments, and you'll discover that life is far lighter and more joyful than you ever imagined. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this message valuable, don't forget to subscribe to Students of Wisdom and share this lesson with others who might need it. Let us continue to grow together on this path of wisdom and resilience. Remember, the art of letting go is not just a skill, it's a way of life. Be like the wise man with the broken pot, the archer aiming his arrow, and the monkey who, one day, opens its hand to freedom. Stay strong, stay resilient, and most importantly, let go.